Guys, welcome to my channel Solid Trades. Ali here. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about my favorite top 5 chart patterns that have made me a lot of money and that could make you a lot of money, right? So let's get into it. Okay, so let's get started. So my most favorite pattern is this double bottom pattern. So whenever you see a stock goes down and then puts a bottom and comes back up again and then puts another bottom and then comes back up again, right? That's a double bottom. So you see price came down twice here and then went up. When that happens, and if you see a trend break at the same time, guys, just get in here. This is a great area to buy. You see the risk. You see how, like, if you buy here and if it comes back down, you get out and take a small loss. So you just loss is just this much, okay? But look at the reward. Just stock just keeps climbing and climbing. The reason why is because the price came down here twice and buyers bought it up. So anybody who is short knows that they tried 2 times and they couldn't get it out. They couldn't make money from it. So they're gonna cover, and that causes a huge squeeze, okay? So that's number 1, my favorite double bottom trend line break setup. All right, so it's a double bottom with a trend break. So there are 2 reasons to get into a stock. All right, number 1. Number 2. So this is another very famous, which is called a U-shape, right? So you see it's called made a U-shape here, right? So when there's a U-shape on the 15-minute chart or on a longer frame chart, you see it on the daily chart here. This is daily chart. On the daily chart, you see how it's making U-shape. On a 15-minute chart, it's making U-shape. So what you want to do is then you want to look for a trend break, or you want to look for a triangle pattern. So on the smaller time frame. So there's a 2-minute chart or 1-minute chart. So first, for this pattern, you need to realize a U-shape or U-shape pattern on a longer time frame. And then once you have a longer time frame, then you look for a trend line break. So this is the area you want to buy. This is it. So you just enter right here at the trend break, okay, knowing that there is a very strong setup on the longer time frame. If it's a longer time frame setup, most likely it will work out great. All right, so this trend line setup is a combination of a U-shaped pattern on a bigger and then a trend line break on a smaller time frame. All right, number 2. Number 3 is, this is a smaller time frame, okay. This works the best when the stock is just ripping, okay. You know, you have those stocks that goes up like 100%, 200%, 300%. This stock went up about 1000% that day, okay. SPI, I don't know if it happened like a couple of months ago. So basically what happened is that a stock breaks up, okay, starts to go up a lot, okay. So if you notice, it went from $8 to $12. That is about like 50, 30, 40%, okay. So it's on everybody's radar. What happens is that the stock breaks out. You see how there's a resistance here, then it broke out here, and then it makes a triangle pattern on top. Again, a breakout pattern on top of this support, okay. If it makes a triangle pattern on top of the support, it's very strong. That's where you get it. And look, as soon as it broke out, look, huge move. It went from $15 to $40 in just one day. Not one day, like half hour. Okay, these are all 1-minute candles. Can you believe it? It's just like 50 candles. So basically, it just would have made your year, okay, if you just entered. So all you have to do is figure out a strong stock that is making a triangle pattern above the support area. So this is the support. You see this line support, right? It kind of is a U-shaped pattern too, a U-shape, right? A U-shape. It's a U-shaped pattern, and then a U-shaped pattern on top of it, it's making this triangle pattern. All right, very strong setup. Next, so now next is a reversal pattern, but still, again, it's a a trend line break pattern, right? There's a trend line break here. It's called a descending wedge pattern. So basically this happens when a stock just goes up a lot. So basically this happens in Zoom. You see the daily chart here. Here the stock has been just going up and up and up and up and up, right? Eventually the stock comes down, right? However, how to know when the stock is going to come down? This is how. You wait for the stock when it just keeps ripping, right? You want to short it, but you don't want to short on the front side. So you wait for some sort of setup, and in this case, a descending wedge pattern. The descending wedge pattern is basically a pattern which is a reversal pattern. When you see a pattern like this, most likely a stock is going to reverse. Okay, so if you see a descending wedge pattern here where the price is getting tight, right? And then once it breaks out, you short here. So you short right here, and then your stop is right above this. If it comes back up, you get out. So very small risk, and look at this reward. Okay, so it's called a descending wedge pattern. Again, same trend line, but it works in a little different way. Next is very easy to spot, which is I call trend line pivot to pivot. So basically, you see a very clear pivot. You see one clear pivot and second clear pivot. When you see a very clear pivot, it means everybody else can see it too. If everybody else can see it, then it's very easy to determine. If it's very easy to determine or acknowledge, other people, when this breaks, they're gonna take advantage of it. So when this very easy to draw a trend line break from pivot to pivot, you see you can buy easily right here at the trend break. Okay, and your stop is right below. So if this is your stop, and look at this huge gain. That's it. You just need to take one trade, and then just don't do anything for a whole week. Right? And then second opportunity came right here at this trend line break. So another opportunity to buy right here. Okay. Very easy setup. The reason why it's easy is because that is why actually it works a lot better. The fact that it's easy, that's why it works a lot better, because the more people can see it. Okay. So you want to find out stocks that are really moving a lot up that day, and then look for this pivot to pivot trend line break setup. Next. So now this next is a Wick Trend setup. I call it a Wick. Basically what happens when the stock comes down, right, it's trying to go down. Okay, but notice here you wick, then wick, then wick. These are all wicks, right? Wicks. What the wicks represent is that the stock came down and boom, it got bought right back up. Came back down, bought right back up. Came back down, bought right back up. It means there's a lot of people buying here. There's a lot of support. Okay, and then so you already know there's a support here, and there's a trend line break here. Boom, a breakout. So it's called it's my pattern. I mean, I made it up. I call it a Wick Trend pattern, a Wick Trend break pattern. All right, guys. These are my 5. Make sure to guys subscribe to the channel, please. I am going to be putting up great content. If you love this video, make sure you like it, and join my Discord channel. The link, I update these patterns all the time in real time, so you can take advantage of these. Okay. Yeah. So good luck, guys. Take care. Bye bye.